And now, from the mean streets of Essex, England, this is Whatcast.
Hello there, this is Matt and this is Whatcast. So we've got some big stories this week on the podcast talking about the Epstein files. This is like the biggest news of the week, of the month, of the year so far. The files are slowly, ridiculously, finally being released. Literally anybody is in them. There was I was listening to that, was it Lady Victoria or something the other day? She was talking about that you should be ashamed of yourself if you're not in the files. Because if you're not in the files, then you're nobody. And you was never anybody because he was linked to everybody. He was linked to so many people. Like, it's coming out of the UK here that he was, that Lord Mandelson was leaking government secrets or something to Jeffrey Epstein when he was working for the Labour government back in the day. Like, what power has this man got over all of these elite weirdos that they feel the need to tell him everything and everyone's his best mate and all these emails? Sarah Ferguson with these emails, you're the brother I didn't have, and all this other bollocks. And this reference that they're talking about with, I'll be getting into this in a minute, what I'm about to talk about, so I might as well just let you hear it. Also got some Billie Eilish coming up with her Grammys bollocks and some of the kickback on that. And a bit of an offer for Billy, to be fair. Like, to say, let's just see, because, you know, what I always make it clear, I love, if you are a virtuous person and you want to live virtuously and you genuinely mean everything you say, I have nothing but respect for you. We need virtuous people in the world. We need people to look after the needy. We need people to prop people up that need to be propped up. We need this in life, right? We need people of power and people of money to be able to reach down and help other people up. What I can't stand is virtue signaling, when you just want everyone to think that you think a certain way because you get the applause for it, but really you don't give a fuck. Like, I'd rather people just say, I don't give a fuck, than people pretend to give a fuck just so they can feel good about themselves and everybody thinks that they look good by doing it. So we'll see. We'll see what we're going to say about Billy later on. Plus, we've got a hate of the week at the end of the show, which is kind of tied in with We Love Great Yarmouth, the thing I've been doing for a while now, from the Facebook group We Love Great Yarmouth. Right, so let's get straight into this Epstein stuff first then. And here it is. Let's see what this bloke's got to say. Now, I haven't watched any of these clips yet, so I don't really know the context. I like to react to stuff. It's how I do all of my content. I like to just pull up something that I think they're going to be talking. This is bollocks. I'll just turn it off halfway through. But let's see what this bloke, this content creator, I don't even know what his name is, has got to say about the Epstein files.
The Epstein files were bad. I read them. I didn't know it was that bad. You guys don't understand. I don't know if you guys have read it. It's public information online now. This dude was literally like killing and eating babies. There are messages and emails about him describing,
allegedly,
like baby intestines and like all that stuff as like a cream cheese. It's so weird. The references to cannibalism is just so disturbing, and the fact that so many of them on that island and anyone acquainted with him did that kind of stuff, it's just wild to me. I know there's evil in the world, right? We all know there's evil in the world, but this is like beyond anything I could have ever imagined. And all the conspiracy theorists dating back to the early 2000s and stuff, when they were saying the elite are eating kids for like adrenochrome or whatever. Not sure if the adrenochrome thing is true, but obviously, I mean, we know the elites are eating kids now.
Well, we don't know. I mean, they're alluding to it in the emails, right? So we need to be careful of what we say, obviously, because of the platforms that we're on. But it certainly seems to allude to it at least. Or I'd like to hear of an explanation, because I am, as an ex-big conspiracy theorist back in the day, on this podcast especially, or looking at things maybe a little bit out of context because they was more interesting out of context till you get the context and you think, is any of this true? And we covered that thing that he's talking about there back in the day, 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago maybe. And I was like, oh my God, this is shocking. And then you got they're painting this dickhead Trump as some kind of a savior of the world. It looks very propaganda-y to me. So I kind of dismissed it after seeing all of that shit. But these emails and the fact that this guy just knew everybody. Anybody that's anybody seemed to have ties and email ties to this guy. And the ridiculous thing about it is that, especially in America, people on both sides, on the left and on the right, all think that it's the other side that was his mate. They were all his mate. We all know this, right? Surely.
All those crazy conspiracy theorists turn out to be right about this kind of stuff. Also, too, apparently Epstein is also responsible for Call of Duty microtransactions, like the alt-right pipeline. Just probably every bad thing you can imagine. That's just touching the surface. I gotta make a longer video on this later, but let me know your thoughts. Let me know the craziest thing, the files you've read.
Yeah, so let's move on to the next one then. So there's this guy. I don't know what he's going to talk about here. Let's see.
Absolutely disgust you. So these emails were recently discovered in the Epstein files. And as you can see, in 2018, Epstein was talking to someone whose identity has been redacted, which is illegal.
All this, what's this redaction bollocks? If you're going to reveal these files and put them out there for everybody, why are we hiding any of the names? Why are people protected? If these crimes are so fucking bad, who cares who it is? Who cares? Whoever's name's in them, they shouldn't be powerful enough to have them taken out of there. Right, you just leave them in there. They just surely would normal people, would you get your name redacted if you did something wrong or to be protected by something? No, you fucking wouldn't. They're knocking on doors in this country if you write the wrong thing on X, for fuck's sake.
And this person says, she said she was 14 to 15 years old, and Epstein writes, you can fly her to see you if you like. So right there we have Epstein offering to traffic a 14 to 15-year-old girl and to help facilitate the transportation of that minor for sexual purposes. But if you look at the entire conversation, it gets even more disturbing. So the first bit, Jeffrey Epstein states, is the past porn girl. You might talk to her as she has lots of friends. So yes, this means that this 14-year-old girl was in the past used to produce CSAM films and photographs. They literally call her a porn girl. This is a child that was raped on camera. And then this person, Julia, says, waiting to hear from blank, setting up meetings in Moscow and Vilnius for now.
Moscow. There's no such place as Moscow.
Now, I liked blank. Then Epstein writes back, ask her how long she worked for George Models in Odessa. After that, I don't know if it's Julia or who it is, but they write back, she said she had 4 to 5 jobs with them. Then Epstein writes back, as you can see up there, tell her to tell the truth, it's okay. She had soft porn video, she and her friend in bathtub, etc. Underage, question mark. And then whoever this was, if this is Julia or I don't know who that would be, but they write back, and that's where we saw at the beginning. She said she was 14 to 15 years.
These content creators, they do far too many cuts these days, don't they? Cut it halfway through a word. It's like they call it, I don't know what, there's a word for it to keep the engagement, to keep people watching. The cuts, so there's no pauses and all this so people don't get pissed off and leave. But you're overdoing it now. Stop it with the cuts, you absolute pricks.
Yeah, what you doing down there, Aunt Sally?
Is old, and Epstein says you can fly her to see you if you like. So, what does this mean? Obviously, this is an extremely disturbing conversation that we're witnessing right here. But Epstein, and it seems like he's talking to this person, Julia, they are discussing a girl who appeared in CSAM materials, and it sounds like commercially produced CSAM materials.
Let's look this up. Yeah, he's right.
What some would call child pornography, because it appears based on this that there was a studio setup, there were camera people, there was lighting, stuff like that. These were like professional CSAM production shoots. And they say she was 14 to 15 years old, offered to fly her, you can fly her out, see her. But what happened to this girl? Who is this girl? None of it makes any sense. And this should just really infuriate you, because
it's so funny this is an email from Jeffrey Epstein to somebody offering them a child, right? And their name is redacted. The name's redacted, so we don't know who it is. Could be fucking anybody's. It's an elite. It's someone who you probably know or know of, or someone knows of, someone from money. We don't know. We don't get to know. It's not important as long as we release the emails. It's full disclosure. Not full disclosure, is it? Tell us the fucking names.
The DOJ and the FBI are still claiming Epstein did not traffic a single girl when there is so much evidence that he did.
Well, he certainly offered to if this email's legit. Even whether he trafficked her or not is another thing, but he was offering to, wasn't he? Which means he can, which means he probably had.
Including just this one email where he's offering literally to provide flights to see this young girl who was raped on camera for commercially produced CSAM materials. It's incredibly, incredibly disturbing stuff, but we need to keep talking about it.
I am. Let's move on to the next one then. So this is him again, the same guy, and he's got some cannibalism emails now from this. Fucking going on. Like, this is the weirdest shit ever. No wonder no one wanted to release these. Trump, oh yeah, we'll get to it eventually. What? Yeah, you're probably in it, mate. And so's all the other side, and so's all the British twats over here from the government. Everyone's involved. All your names are in this bollocks. All of these redacted names could be absolutely fucking anybody, couldn't they? Why are they redacted? Oh, there's a legal reason. If you stick up for this, if you support the fact that names are redacted when these emails are so incriminating, then I do not know what you're thinking to think that. You have some kind of super loyalty to whoever your party is. If you think that it's someone you might know or in government, and it's okay if they're protected because it's not in full context. Well, then let them defend it. These emails are quite incriminating. All the evidence needs. If you're going to release the email, you can't not release the name.
What seems to be another reference to cannibalism in the Epstein files. So the man in that video was Sultan bin Sulayem. He's a very powerful individual from Saudi Arabia, a businessman, a very, very
Is he? How much can he bench?
Wealthy, elite individual. And there are tons of interactions between this guy and Epstein that we could cover.
It doesn't look powerful, to be fair. It looks like a pencil with a moustache.
Which I'm going to in upcoming videos, but I want to focus on this one email right now. So as you can see right here, Epstein writes, "Does Ambani want fish?" February 20th, 2017. Then later that day, Sultan bin Sulayem, he writes, "He is vegetarian, no flesh of any kind." Smiley face. Also got to note that is a creepy smiley face. I feel like I haven't seen a smiley face since I was in 8th grade that looked like that. That was like when I was texting my first crush.
What he means, the smiley face with just the 2 dots and the whatever the fuck it is. Don't know what's creepy about it, but yeah.
It's a very childish little smiley face. But then Epstein responds to Sultan bin Sulayem after saying no flesh of any kind. Okay, even Irish?
By the way, this Sultan, whatever his name is not the only person that this is to. It is him and a redacted name. There's 2 people in the email.
So, what does that mean in this context? There are a couple different interpretations there. One, obviously, if you want to go with the more extreme version, they're talking about eating somebody. He doesn't want flesh of any kind. Epstein is surprised. Even Irish flesh? You don't want to eat an Irish woman? But there's also the trafficking angle, which, I'm more inclined to believe would be the explanation here. Saying, there's Irish flesh. I don't really know. It's really confusing, but clearly it could also...
Why do they do the creepy music, though? It's so annoying.
Also just be a joke, obviously.
Sounds like cognitive dissonance to me, mate.
Which I think it might have been, but you still just never know. Because even if this message seemed to be more of a joke, something off the cuff, there are tons of videos and photographs within the files that are definitely not jokes, that do contain extremely alarming photos and videos and testimonies. And I think each and every one of these messages needs to be investigated, and each and every person needs to be investigated as well, including guys like this. But until we start seeing those investigations worldwide, I hate to tell you this, but nothing's going to change. The power structures are going to remain the same. The pedophiles will remain in power. If you believe in it, cannibals will keep eating.
They're not cannonballs, are they? Cannibals.
Babies and children. And unfortunately, the world will just keep on spinning.
There you go. You hear that? The world will keep on spinning. Some people disagree. They'll be watching this. But there you go. So this is a fucking weird one. Now, I watched a little bit of this clip here. This is more... remember back in the day, people talked about code and stuff from the thing we're not allowed to talk about gate. back in the day. So this is guys going through some Epstein emails, and he's uncovered what he believes is a code. Now, my initial reaction to this video was, what the fuck? What a load of bollocks is he talking here, this nutcase? And then it happens a bit too often. Let's check out what I'm talking about.
Crazy, think they found a code word for human meat? Wait, what? Hope you are feeling better. Did we analyze the jerky? Why didn't we get jerky this week? I also added more to the jerky and...
For those of you that can't see it, he is reading out clips from numerous emails that have been released from the Epstein files.
Ginger lemongrass. Thank you so much. Super cool. Beef jerky. Delicious. Jojo is here and we'll walk the jerky over to Jeffrey.
Once again, all the names are redacted in these emails. Strange.
Why would jerky walk around?
If it's just jerky and it is actually jerky, why are we redacted names?
Why would it do that? Delicious lunch. Beef jerky. Steve and I are very grateful above all for your friendship. Some of these emails are so wholesome, aren't they? It's too bad they eat kids. A small insulated bag would be fine. I don't recommend checking it. No need for crazy amounts of ice. One should do. There is one bag of beef jerky in the fridge. Please get it. Also, Blank has more at her place. Please get it from her as well. I suppose it needs to be in a cold, insulated bag. Just wanted to touch base about jerky. J.E. said he was going to start eating regular food again, so he might be eating less jerky. He said he has 6 bags of it in the downstairs freezer. Why would you freeze jerky? Steve needs a 6 to 8 ounce portion of jerky. I gave you all the jerky we had, and it lasted only half the amount of time it was meant to. I felt like it was more important for you to have the jerky to eat during my time off.
Even if they ain't talking about human meat here, they're definitely code wording something as this can't be actual jerky, can it? Jerky. I always thought Epstein was a bit of a jerky myself.
Violated by gas!
My plan is to make a batch before I leave for LSJ, and some of that will go to Steve, and the rest will go to you at LSJ when I arrive. Little St. James Island. And that's what LSJ must mean. So logically, that means that they were doing this.
Little St. James Island.
Off of the island. Steve Hansen is sending jerky to your attention overnight. I believe it should be enough to get him through. Jeffrey Epstein is asking to bring him more jerky. I'm flying in on Friday. I will bring jerky.
It doesn't have lips!
Is there a time I could come say hi and drop off the beef jerky? And that's from Jeffrey Epstein. Francis has time to come tomorrow. Show me how to make it. Jerky class anyone. He will bring you to taste his new jerky recipe from the restaurant. He sends a warm hello. He's working at a restaurant called Guys, the restaurant's called Cannibal and Cooks. Wait for it. Beef jerky and steak.
Cannibal and Cooks. Well, you know, if they're not cannibals and they're not eating people, then they're definitely trying to look like they are.
And Blank make some jerky. I think we should landscape.
This is all allegations, by the way. This is all people putting 2 and 2 together. I'm by no means saying any of this. I'm just covering a story that's got quite big this week. Don't shoot the messenger.
All around the house to use the water if possible. If the main house is not enough. Are there any recorded images of Jeffrey Epstein with beef jerky at all? No, there are no recorded or publicly known images of Jeffrey Epstein with beef jerky. Who said
Jeffrey? I'm going to look this up myself. No, there's no images.
Sends beef jerky to a lab for analysis. Wait, what? I was looking for the beef jerky as I knew it was in my suitcase, and I thought that maybe I left it on the beach, only to find a small plastic bag near my dog's bed. I'll email Francis to make us some more, as I need 6 to 8 ounces to send to the lab, and I'll forward to Francis the info to send to the lab directly. Guys, I think something's going on. What's this here? Apparently it's his last girlfriend who's active on Twitter right now. Check the mail. Names for hers again. Oh boy. Oh boy.
That just said beef jerky for those of you only listening there. You can watch, if you're on your Spotify, you can watch this video, you know now. The videos go up on Spotify.
People are saying this is Jeffrey Epstein's last girlfriend.
That's his last bird. When he met her, he chatted her up with this line.
Hello, ladies.
And this is the same name as inside of the files, and her name change hasn't occurred since 2017, before the files released.
How many times has jerky been mentioned now, Nathan?
5 times!
I think it's been a bit more than that.
After years of silence, the truth. Jeffrey was innocent. I really? Like, he just a good boy? He didn't do nothing wrong? Trapped by powerful people who silenced him. I was his last confidant, and I have the evidence that they're still hiding. I'm not suicidal, just in case. You'll know the whole truth soon. They
I'm not suicidal either, by the way.
sacrificed children to Lucifer. It's an entire cult. Jeffrey got involved in their operation for financial reasons and
regions. This bloke, when he reads fast, he loses it a bit.
To obtain Combraprat, but never participated in the rituals. Oh, what is this here? I'll pull this one up and see it. That's crazy. She cooked in the brain? Maybe. She ate the brain? Yeah, maybe she did. Wire transfer request form. A 65-gallon... Guys, 655-gallon sulfuric acid with fuel and insurance charge? They are dissolving bodies.
Well, that's his accusation there at the end, but with no background whatsoever. The use of the word jerky is fucking weird. That many times talking about, like, why would you email about jerky all the time? Unless that island's famous for its jerky and people go there for the jerky, which is actual jerky, then why would you need to mention it that many times? I've got no fucking clue. What do we think about this? I want to know. Let me know in the comments. I get it that a lot of my YouTube followers just turn off to any conspiracy whatsoever. Well, what do you think about the Epstein files? We know this trafficking went on. We don't know whether they was doing any of this stuff. It's just people that are alleging stuff. But the emails are pretty damning. They look a bit fucking weird. You have to at least concede that. And I know a lot of the people on the podcast will probably be on board with this. So I want to know from the people on that listen to the podcast, make sure you comment on Spotify, make sure you review the podcast, make sure you give it a nice 5 stars, and make sure you let me know what you think of this episode. We're nowhere near finished yet, by the way. We've still got a couple more things to do here. On the YouTube, please let me know in the comments, are you going to try to defend this? Am I wrong to be suspicious of this? I want to know. I'm here. If I get stuff wrong, I want to be accountable for it, and I want to be able to correct it and change my mind. I don't want to hear about politics, though. I don't want to hear about my side's good and that side's bad and we're good and they're bad and they're the ones that are doing it. Not us. No. If this is true at all, then there's people from everywhere that's involved in it. Seems to be most people, in fact. Let's move stories then to this. Billie Eilish. So this is Billie Eilish at the Grammys, and this is what she had to say.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
Everybody's nodding in agreement. Stunning and brave.
Yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now, and I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter.
She really, it's really hard to think what to say, so.
Well, then shut up, you dumb fuck!
And the people matter, and
they've just blanked that
sorry.
bit out. She said fuck ICE. Right, so ICE, whatever your feelings about ICE in America, whether you think they're being too heavy-handed, whether you think it's too much, whatever, what she said there was no one is illegal. The thing I'm going to concentrate on is no one is illegal on stolen land. This is, again, a very political thing. People really hate Trump, and therefore they will jump all over this to attack Trump with it. I don't fucking like Trump. I think he's a prick. I can't stand him. I don't want to get involved in any of the stuff about ICE or whether they're too heavy-handed or what they are. What I want to talk about is the ramifications of what she's saying about nobody is illegal. This is a great thing to say in a happy, clappy world of everybody would just live all in peace and happiness and everyone be the same wealth and all this. It ain't reality, is it? Let's see what this guy had to say about it and see what we think.
How many of those celebrities do you think live in gated communities with walls and high security on a multi-million-dollar property?
Yes, that's relevant before you say it ain't. A home isn't a country, no, but land is land, borders are borders, regardless. It always makes me laugh when they do the what is it, Glastonbury or whatever every year, when they have all these slogans up everywhere whilst a big gate is around it, stopping anybody from coming in unless they pay.
And do you think that if someone trespassed onto that multi-million-dollar property, do you think they just wouldn't call the cops because nobody is illegal on stolen land? No, they would call the cops because people understand borders real quick when it comes to their own homes. These celebrities don't have to worry about increased rent prices from allowing millions of people to come here legally because these people, again, live on multi-million-dollar properties in gated communities. These people are not like you. They don't have to worry about their kids' public school becoming overcrowded because their kids go to private school. They don't have to worry about their insurance rates going up from the countless undocumented immigrants who are uninsured and still have emergencies that someone has to pay for. They don't have to worry about their physical safety being endangered by criminal illegal immigrants who should not be here because these celebrities have security details. They have to worry about selling music, and the easiest way to do that is to just toe the line and preach the same bimbo left-wing slogans as every other clapping seal in that room.
So what do you think about that? He moves into the left-right thing. Obviously, most of the celebrities are left. My problem with it is, like, it's great to say this stuff. It's great to talk about how everybody should just be allowed to go wherever they want. There shouldn't be borders. There shouldn't be this. I need a passport to go anywhere. I can't overstay my welcome anywhere. I respect that and I accept that. Yeah, but you live in a rich country. This country owes all over the fucking world. Look, I get it. I get empathy. I understand what people are talking about. I understand how people politicize this stuff when people care so much about what's happening over here. When the same's happening over there, they don't give a fuck because they politicize everything. I'm not politicizing everything. I'm not political. I think everyone is equally a wanker, right? But let's give Billie the benefit of the doubt here and let's say that she means what she's saying. Good news for Billie. Because heaven forbid she just, I'm not going to say she's just virtue signaling for applause. Let's see if she actually means what she says. Let's find out.
Now a law firm wants to help Billie Eilish give her stolen land back to the Tongva tribe.
This is from the Sinai law firm. They said, for immediate release, Sinai law firm is offering to evict Billie Eilish from her Los Angeles home on a pro bono basis on behalf of the Tongva tribe. Sinai law firm is the premier eviction firm in the county. Yeah. Eilish's admission that she lives on stolen land gives the tribe a rightful action for possession as the true owner of the property. The 30-day notice is already written and ready to be served.
She could take them up on it if she means it, right? For those of you that are going to say that's not the same thing, she's admitted to living on stolen land, right? So surely that invalidates everything.
About it, Billie. The tribe has spoken out and they're ready to take that land back. And there's even a law firm willing to help with the legal transition of ownership for free. So what's stopping you? It's almost like you don't believe the words that you say and you're just repeating what you're told.
Exactly.
And it just shows how ridiculous the stolen land argument is. Because if you agree that the person who sold the land to you owned it, then you know that it wasn't stolen. If you agree that the person who sold it to you owned it legally, then you know that there are laws in the US that make that land theirs to allow the sale of it. And if you agree that there are laws that allow people to buy and sell their land, whether it be to you as a celebrity or us poor peasants, you have to agree that other laws that separate the US from other countries matter, like borders. Somebody who owns property in Mexico could not sell that property.
Well, for some reason, the sound has gone off there, and I'm not really sure why. But yeah, it's nearly finished anyway. So she's making the point there that, you know, this is what the law says. Now, I was thinking, it's like, is there any land in the world that wasn't stolen or wasn't conquered, wasn't fought over? Like, literally, we go back, we could say everything that and everywhere that anyone lives is either stolen or conquered from someone else, right? So, you know, do we apologize forever about this, or do we just move on with things And if you want to abolish borders, like this is another thing I've never understood. If you just want to abolish borders, then everybody would just... What would happen? You get rid of the laws, everybody would just migrate to the same places in the world, the richest places. And then eventually the lawlessness would become so much because the infrastructure couldn't cope and all of the rest of it. And there'd be no quality of life for anybody, that it would end up third world, and it would just end up being then stolen or conquered by whoever had the most weapons of the group when everyone splintered off or whatever, and go like back in the old days, like what happened when everybody just did freely move wherever they want and decided we want this land now for ours. Would that not just happen again if we just stopped the borders thing? Because not everybody is... I'm not doubting that there's people in the world that would be happy to do this and would be happy to share their land. No one seems to want to share their house, by the way, but just to share the land that they live on and to overcrowd it if necessary, as long as it helps other people out, because you can't be selfish and all this sort of stuff. I understand that there's people that genuinely do believe that, and I'm not going to call everybody a fucking liar, and I appreciate those people. They are nice, kind people. But do they realise the ramifications of that? Because the people that everybody, when things are tough, you saw it during COVID. I saw it firsthand during COVID. When times are tough, there's people fighting each other over toilet paper. People are not what they pretend they are. Let's all help out the human race. People are just scavenge, grab everything they can get for themselves because things are scarce. The same would happen with land. The same would happen with everything. Everybody is greedy. Inherently, we are all selfish, even if we pretend we ain't. Some are less selfish than others, but most of us are just selfish, and everybody wants to fight. You look at Black Friday, when people are fighting over a microwave or a TV, ridiculous. You look at the bog roll situation from COVID. You look at the way that the shelves in all the stores were empty during COVID. No food. No one gave a fuck if anyone else starved. And they're supposed to be civilized countries. As long as they've got what they want. That would happen tenfold if there was just mass migration everywhere. Nobody would have any kind of quality of life. There's laws there, rules there for a reason. I'm sure people massively disagree with everything I'm saying, but I'd like to hear your disagreements without you talking down to me. Or if people wanted to come on to the show and explain this stuff to me, I'd be happy to have them on, because I do not shy away from conversation. And I do not really get involved in typing wars with people, right? I'd rather have a chat. So... it leads me great pleasure, unless she gives up her land, because if she genuinely believes that she could give up her land, return it to the Indians or whatever, the natives. Billie Eilish, unless you do, then this is well deserved. So, speaking of the week, so the hate of the week this week is combined with this.
We love parade Yarmouth, and if you don't like it, go and sit on the snail. We love parade Yarmouth, and if you don't like it, go and sit on the snail. Snail sitters unite. This is our fight.
We love Great Yarmouth, the group on the Book of Face that we love to laugh at. This is also my hate of the week this week, because I found something on there that is really ridiculous, and I can't believe that people do, and I can't believe that people interact with. So this is an article, this is a post about Rufus the Seaside Cat. Right? So someone's posted this. This is the actual group that have posted this. Who has had the pleasure of meeting the super cute and lovable Rufus? Rufus absolutely loves exploring Great Yarmouth. There is pretty much nowhere Rufus hasn't been. He has had a nap on the snails. The best ride in history, apparently, the snails. Everyone's got to go and have a go on the snails. If you don't like it, go and sit on the snail, as the song says, right? And even in one of the showroom caravans at the Seashore Holiday Park. He loves the amusement arcades. He's a cat. He doesn't love the amusement arcades. Let's just get that out there. That is absolute bollocks, right? You'll often see him at the Anchor Garden Garden Cafe during the season on a morning at the Jelly Ellie's on a late afternoon. He enjoys his stroll. How do you know he's enjoying any of this? He might be hating all of this, right? This cat might be lost and thinking, this place is shit. There's a dog over there called AIDS that keeps chasing me, and this Gloat Yarmouth is piss poor, and I want to find my way out of here. He enjoys his stroll along the seafront up Regent Road. He will stroll through the marketplace and even known to go to the local pubs. What's his usual then? A pint of beer? It's a cat, right? Rufus goes back home to his family over the winter period to stay safe and warm. But no doubt he can't wait for the spring and summer to come back around to go on all his travels and meet everyone. Rufus the cat. Probably thinking, where the fuck am I stuck on this shithole? The Yarmouth of Great. And there he is. There's Rufus walking around there. There's him laying there, that thing that cats do on the floor when they flirt with you. There's Rufus on the snails. I'm sorry. Rufus, to go on the snails, you'd have to walk into Jawland. It's quite a way back. So Rufus, he's obviously not bothered by people. I'm telling you what happened here. Someone picked Rufus up and put him on that snail so he could sleep. Right? Rufus is probably permanently asleep and never walks. Probably dead. Might be a dead cat. I just pick it up. Might be a cuddly cat. Just stick it on the snails. No way was he riding the snails. Someone's even put the bar down for Rufus so he doesn't fall out of the snails. Oh my God, what a scare ride that is. Slowest ride in history. He's laying on a bed at the seashore. This is the comments. Cassie says, I've met him at work. You haven't. You didn't meet him. You saw him and he walked off unimpressed with fleas jumping off of him. You met him at work as well as on the seafront. He jumped in my car. Deflee the car immediately. I ain't seen Rufus jump. I've got to find this cat. Amy says, seen him, but I don't think he likes my electric wheelchair. Well, he likes the snails. Your wheelchair probably goes faster, to be fair. Megan says, he came in with hopes to watch a movie when I worked in the cinema. And he's got a picture of this fucking cat walking in the cinema. What is this, Puss in Boots or something? He would be absolutely gutted if that... I would be absolutely gutted if that was my cat, this person says here. Lisa says, we have met him 3 times, I think. Lovely cat. Always look out for him now. I'm going to be looking for this cat next time I'm in the Yarmouth of Great. June says, I've met him many times. He's so lovely. They seem to like this cat more than they like the ridiculous puppet man, which is quite shocking. He's so lovely. And as a cat lover, I'm glad that he has a lovely warm home. I can't wait to see him in April if he's out and about. David says, met Rufus a few times along the seafront. Such a lovely cat. Why bother writing that? Such a pointless thing to write. Everyone's already written that 600 times with a bit of a story attached. You just write one sentence. Fuck off, David, or whatever your name was. Was it David? It was David. Mary says, right, by the way, I can't go on there. David.
You just made the list!
For writing that shit, right? Mary says, he's gorgeous. Never had seen him in all my times going to Yarmouth, but will make a special effort to spot him this year. How do you make a special effort to look for something? If you're just going to go up and down the seafront, you're just going to sort of scan around, aren't you? Where's the special effort? We're going to look on the snails for him, are you? Or in Seashore, or in the cinema with his popcorn. Leslie Griffin says, last time we saw him, he was going into the cafe at Marina Centre. Viv says, I've met him loads. He's a little angel. Yeah. Anne says, met him 3 times. So lovely. They count the times I've met this cat. I've never met this cat. I've been there a few times. Candace says, keep an eye out for this cutie. Susan says, I've never met him, but I hope to meet him this year. Jane says, I've met him. Lovely cat. Robert's got a picture of him playing on the arcades. The cat is jumping up one of those, looks like one of those grab machines with the grab the cuddly toys things. Right. Lisa says nothing. Then they're just all tagging each other in it there. So yeah, that was Rufus the cat. Oh, Rufus.
You just made the list.
Get Rufus on the list for tricking everyone into thinking that he's actually an entertaining cat, because he clearly fucking isn't. Right. That was We Love Great Yarmouth and the Hate of the Week. So that wraps it up then for another week on the podcast here, Whatcast. And let me know, do us a favour, right? So Spotify have made it a bit easier now to get monetized and to actually grow your podcast. They finally woke up to the fact that not only celebrities do this sort of thing, and there's actually small people out there that do this. So if you want to help, please comment on Spotify to this podcast with a response, engage with what the show was talking about or something, or click the 5 stars, or even on Apple or something like that, write a review and click 5 stars on there, and that would be great, and much appreciated. If you are watching on YouTube, please like, comment, share, hype the video. You can click the hype underneath. Even if you disagree with stuff I've said, I'm not offended by it, as long as you'll respectfully disagree, because I don't think you're a dick by just not agreeing with me because I'm an adult. Then you can write say so much as that in the comments underneath and share it, even if you don't like anything I'm saying. And I will continue to do the other stuff that I do here on YouTube, the Flat Earth stuff, and I will continue to do different stuff and move the horizons a bit here, because, you know, I don't want to get stale in any way. I like talking about all different sorts of things. It's much more fun for me. Cheers, everybody, and I will see you next time. I'm just going to play us out with the usual tune. See you later.
You've been listening to Whatcast. Follow us on social media at Whatcast or Whatcast Podcast, or email us at whatcast@gmail.com, even if it don't affect your wages.